Welcome everyone who is tuning in, who is joining us right now live, and welcome also to those who are going to watch this as a recording. For those who don't know me and are new here, I'm Ola. I'm the host of these LinkedIn series called All Cards on Deck. And I've created these series to inspire you guys to follow your purpose and to get inspired by real stories of real people that are already following their purpose, that are already living their lives on purpose. And not only the beautiful, unicorn and rainbow stories about how amazing it is to feel so fulfilled and amazing while you're living your life on purpose, but also the challenges that people face. So you not only get inspired to take action and follow your purpose, but also learn from our mistakes. So your journey is much more smooth and easier. And these LinkedIn series, they actually have a little twist. I mean, they are called All Cards on Deck for a reason because we're actually using cards. They are called We Are Not Really Strangers. These are amazing cards. I love them so much. I played them with strangers, I played them with friends. They have random questions on them, and this is how we are getting to know our guests on a deeper and personal level, even beyond what they do, beyond their purpose. And today we have an incredible, amazing, beautiful guest. Her name is Adele. She's a life transformation coach. And we actually met on LinkedIn 2 years ago in April 2024. I checked.
Are
It's
you
our
serious?
2 year anniversary, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to us.
Yes.
Yes. And we had a coffee chat with her. And this was one of those coffee chats that you do not want to end. We were talking and talking and talking, and I would continue talking to her forever because there are some coffee chats you want to end straight away, but this one, I'm like, no, I felt so connected. Her energy is so warm, so positive, and there are so many things that I could relate to the love for travel, the love for self-development, the love for helping people. So I'm so happy to have you here today, Adele. Welcome to All Cards on Deck.
Thank you, Ola. And I fully agree. Like, you know how I always tell you that I feel a pull to meet you in real life? Like, that is the continuation of that coffee chat. So I agree.
So yeah, one day, I feel like it's gonna happen once again because you love traveling. I move around a lot,
Yes,
so it's gonna happen. We're manifesting it.
for sure.
Okay, let's dive in. Well, I'm asking all my guests the same questions, and the first question I ask everyone is, who are you?
Well, you did mention a little bit about the title, but I do say that I'm everything and nothing, and I am whoever I choose to be. And I say that, and probably you will know from our conversation why I say that. But today, I'm a life and transformation coach, as you said. I'm the founder of Buy Yourself, BUY, the opposite of selling yourself, where I both coach and speak and teach people how to stop abandoning themselves, thinking and trying to be who they need to be for other people, and actually start to be who they want to be for themselves. And yeah, tapping into life which is true to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a book about that at the moment, and I'm also a citizen of the world. Like that is one of our common things. So yeah.
Yes, beautiful. And I can definitely relate to the choice part because I also believe that we have a choice to be whoever we want, and it's all about those beliefs. But I would really love for you to elaborate. What does it mean to you? So also others understand what does it mean to be able to choose who I am, because I am who I am. How am I able to choose who I am?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful question. And for many people, identity is fixed. So who we are today is going to dictate who we'll be forever and for the rest of our lives. Whether it's an identity in terms of a profession or who we are in terms of qualities like, what we dislike, what we believe. You know, the common sentence, this is just who I am. Like for me, that is
Mm-hmm.
a red flag, death by thousand cuts. So when I say I am who I am, who I want to be, is that you are under no obligation to be the same person as you were 5 minutes ago. meaning you are one decision from a total different life. You can choose, who do I want to be? What do I want to create? What do I want to believe? What do I want to stand for? What's my value? So it's literally an intentional choice when it comes to me. Although big part of my work is I understood that many people has never, ever, 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 and will never, ever, ever make that choice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes
So I'm
sense.
curious, so what is that choice for you? Who are you choosing to be?
Ooh, it depends on, right? So right now I'm choosing to tap into being an author. I'm writing the Buy Yourself book, because I'm choosing to be the guide for people to buy themselves right now. I'm also choosing to be a wife. I'm also choosing to be a daughter. I'm choosing to be a light. Um, I'm also choosing to live on purpose. I'm choosing to believe the kind of beliefs that I want that is going to support the current reality that I want for myself. That can change tomorrow. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm all in on the mission with buying yourself. And by doing that, it also requires me to buy myself every single day. So it requires me to question, where am I abandoning myself? Where am I selling myself? Where am I buying myself? Where's the opportunity for me in terms of challenges that arises for me? Because as you said, living on purpose is not all glamour. It comes with a big responsibility.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. And the fact that you're constantly working on yourself also shows that you are definitely helping clients on an even better level because the world is always changing and we also have to amend and see where do we stand, how can we help others on an even better level. And again, if we are as professionals who help others low on energy, if we feel uncomfortable, if we are in lack, then what can we give to the world, right?
Percent. And I think that the key word here is choice. Like all of these
Mm-hmm.
things that you said, I've chosen. It's not something that
Mm-hmm.
was happening because of autopilot or default or societal expectations. They're all choices I've made. And that is unfortunately not how the world looks like today.
Absolutely. What was that moment for you when you realized, like, do you remember that moment when you're like, oh my God, I can choose who I can be? Was there a moment like that? Do you remember it?
I do remember many times, but two times they were very, when you have these things, you know where you were sitting, you know exactly what you were wearing, those moments. One time was the first time I got into personal development. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was thinking, oh my God, why did no one tell me before that these things are, that I can choose, that there's some kind of empowered way of being, growth mindset, all those things. I'm like, this is a total different world. But it took me almost 15 years before I actually decided to do something about it because of the conditioning that I had been bought into. So the
Mm-hmm.
second time was when I was in a corporate job. And sometimes we have this inner voice that is telling yourself, like, this can't be it. There must be more to life. Like, is this all there is to life? I had that voice for a long time. And one time I was in Mexico, I was reading a book, a random book. Nothing special, nothing intentional. But in that book was a value exercise. And I remember I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't done that for a long time. And I'd also changed a lot. So when I did that value exercise and I looked at my values and I realized, like, oh my God, now I know why I feel so disconnected. Like nothing I was doing in my life was according to my values. For example, I was working in a corporate job. I was a global marketing manager. And I remember we got a new boss. And I also remember was didn't hate him. I didn't really like him. But also I
You
was
were
like,
not aligned.
I was not aligned with him, but the thing is, there was some disconnection there because he was a really good person. So I'm like, what is it I don't like about it? After I had done this value exercise, I realized it has nothing to do with him. It was what the job and his leadership had been making me abandon, which was one of my core
Mm-hmm.
values, which was freedom. Right? So that realization for me was huge. I remember exactly where I sat, what book I was reading, how I felt. And once I saw that and I realized how far away from what I wanted to do, who I was, and what was important to me, I was in my daily life. I couldn't unsee
Mm-hmm.
that anymore. And that's actually when I made the decision to quit my job and start looking like, okay, so if I would live my values, how would that look like? With that, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying, quit your job, but I'm saying become aware of what's important to you. And those lists should
Mm-hmm.
be as much aligned to how you're living your day-to-day life.
Yes. And do you do these checkups, I don't know, every month, every year? What is your strategy here in regards to your values, beliefs? Like, how do you keep up to date with yourself?
Yeah. Yes, because as we said, those can change, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, when it comes to like, so I on my phone have a list of values always in front of me.
I
So
love it.
they're there to remind me. But when it comes
Mm,
to like decisions, that's when I kind of revisit them, and ask myself, what is important for this decision? Is it still a freedom? Is it still growth? Is it integrity? Because different times in your life, you will be guided by different values. Different things will be important to you. If you're a parent like
mhm,
for many, that shifts a lot in importance and values. So yes, I do revisit them all the time. I have them in front of me all the time. But mostly when it comes to choices, and the bigger the choices, the more I go inwards and ask myself, like, okay, if I was to be guided by what's important, not what looks
mhm,
good or what sounds good or what other people thinks I should do, then that's when and also what do I believe? Like if there's something that I believe that is going against what I want to do, then I go back and ask myself, what am I believing that is creating this resistance?
mhm, mhm. Well, moving now to purpose. What is your purpose?
It's a I would say it's a big and small question because so many people get stressed with this question.
Yes,
They
yeah.
stress over finding their purpose. And I tell them, if it's not something obvious that comes to you, your purpose can literally just be to become the best version of yourself every single day. For me, I have a fundamental belief that if more people could wake up to a more fulfilled life on purpose that they've chosen, then the world will be a better place. And that has become part of my purpose of being, is to be that guide, be that, I would even say, provoking challenger. Like I do it a little bit with tough love sometimes, to ask and question people's choices, to ask and question people's intention from love, because in the end, that's all I want to do, is to help more people wake up to a more fulfilled life. And then
Mm-hmm,
from that place, I really believe when more people have that, when more people act from love, first and foremost for themselves, love for their own life, then that will become a ripple effect. Because once you are loved, that now starts to come on, to other relationships in your life. And
mm-hmm,
many things that are happening in the world might diminish or maybe not even happening in the way they're happening today. So that is my purpose with the whole by yourself mission.
mm-hmm. And how did you find it? How did you get to this place? Was it straight away? Because you mentioned that when you figured out that, hey, I'm living my life not aligned with my values, and you decided to quit your job, did you straight away feel like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do? Or there was something else in your mind? Like, what was that process of coming to where you are right now in regards to your purpose?
I think I've always known that no, I know I've always been a rebel. And I've always known that I don't want to do life the way I was taught, the way society
Yeah.
tell us, the way that we're conditioned. But I did fall into the trap of that life for a longer period of time, for a reason, because my pain became my purpose. And when
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I had been living my life in a lie, I had been bought into this conditioned way of living, I figured there must be much more people like me. And if
Mm-hmm.
I could wait, like the way I felt when I made the decision and started to choose myself or buy myself again, the way I felt every morning, I really felt, Ola, more people need to feel like this. And even if it's 5% more than they're doing today, that is enough to get a little bit of a taste of how it feels like to wake up a little bit more on your own side. And then I was like, more people, like literally, there for me now. It's almost like this is what I'm here to do. It's like God put me on this world to do this. Like there is no choice for me anymore. But that's when it came from. I just felt, oh my God, more people need to feel like this. Like you could feel more than
Mm-hmm.
just numb and autopilot and wondering if life is more than this, because that's what I felt for a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm. I sit with a lot of entrepreneurs who have their business, and everyone is mentioning, not everyone, but a lot of people actually find their purpose based on their own kind of like, I don't want to call them dark stories, but like tough life situations. They got out of it and now they want to share with the world how to do it and how it feels like to be on the other side. So I can feel that this is also your story. So
Definitely.
what were your first steps to actually follow it? So you felt that, okay, this is what I want to do. Were you confused in the beginning, but how do I do it? Or you straight away had some clarity on, okay, these are my steps. This is what I'm gonna do.
Great question. And I think that is what stops many people from doing anything, is that they think that they need to have clarity over everything.
Yeah.
So no, absolutely not. And I still don't know all the steps going forward, to be honest. But what I did know, and what I think many people do, as what I think that goes for many people, is they have breadcrumbs in their lives from when they felt most like themselves, or from when they felt like, if you want to say, more alive, from when they felt this is what I'm supposed to do. For me, I have been coaching, or I've been guiding people a lot of, many times in my life. I've been leading sales teams, and everywhere I went, I was either a manager or a leader. That for me
Hmm.
was my natural state, is to coach people. And most of the time it was to question what they're doing and if it goes against who they are. So it was always natural to me. Did I know when I quit my job? Absolutely not. And that's when you need to lean into trust in
Hmm.
your journey, but also trust in that space from when you're leaving the part of you, or the identity that doesn't really fit who you want to be, and then go on this journey of self-discovery, and just get curious. Like for me, it was, I always knew that someday I want to coach people, right? I just never thought that that was possible for me as a profession in this lifetime. That was the belief that I
Hmm.
had bought into, because I've been told that that's not what you do. You need to, that was maybe something you do on the side. I decided, no, I'm actually going to do this because I saw other people had done that before me. So why not me? And then you
Hmm.
just have
Hmm.
to take one step at a time, get curious. What could be the next step? And then you take that step. And then you go, what's the next step? In combination with working with mentors and other people that had done that before me. That was, I think, if anyone asks me, what is the number one thing to change your life to where you want to be, is to, like, your environment. Who is supporting you? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you listening to? What are you allowing as an input in your life? Who's guiding you? Because what
Hmm.
happens many times is we want to change, and then we have the environment around us who's telling you, who do you think you are? No, you can't do that. And then they place all their limitations, judgments, and beliefs on you, and you start to listen, of course. Like, we're not that strong as human beings to not fall for the external environment. So that's what I did. I hired a mentor. I placed myself in environments. It takes, again, intentional choices. I think choice
Hmm.
is such a big word that people do not take
Hmm.
responsibility.
I love what you mentioned in regards to putting yourself into spaces and around people that can inspire you and that are, in a way, ahead of you.
Yes.
They have walked the path and they know they know the path. They
Yeah.
know how you can get to where they are. I'm curious, in your experience, when you decided to shift and create such a big transition straight away, did you have your environment, family, friends, saying these things? You're crazy. Why are you doing this? Pulling you back, pulling you back. And did you have to cut off people, or you somehow managed to keep those connections and blend it in with your new you?
Yes, yes, and no. Yes, I had everyone questioning my life choices. Everyone, like literally everyone, besides my husband, he was supportive because he knows, and my parents. It was like, because on paper, Ola, my life was perfect. I had the corporate career, I had the house, the car, the husband, the traveling. I had literally on paper, there was nothing wrong with my life. So of course, people's gonna question, how are you gonna go from everything being certain to everything being uncertain? And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I have cut off a lot of friends. And
Wow.
not, yeah, and not from like hate or something. It became much more organically. It wasn't any fights or anything. It was more organically that, after a while, when you just realize that from both sides, we might not support each other's journey, we don't agree, or, there's a little bit of friction because I'm growing and you're growing, or you're not growing and I'm growing, or I'm not growing and you're growing. It became very organically. I also had a lot of friends question the choice of profession, and charging for that, like,
Mm,
based on their own limitations. I remember one of my friends, and I will never forget it. She told me, like, I would never pay that much money for a coach, and that was my early days. I have since
wow.
then maybe tenfolded my prices, and
Mm,
then, and in that second, I remember I was like, oh my God, maybe it's too much. Started to doubt myself. I found myself doubting myself. But then again, what I did was leaning into my mentors, leaning into my coaches, leaning into the environment where I know other people have done this, are doing this, and much more than me. So
mm.
it's almost like borrowing other people's beliefs when you are questioning yourself as well, because what you think is possible is not what it's not what's possible. It's just what you think, and then when you tap into those environments, you also expand that. And once you've expanded, you cannot unexpand, which makes the previous, I mean, let's say, environment, people, conversations so much smaller than you are.
Yeah, because that's your lived experience right now. If before it was just kind of like a potential, maybe a dream, but when you're living it or when you're seeing another person living it, it becomes more real and more close. And in regards to charging for, helping people, coaching people, it's actually a big topic,
Yeah.
which a lot of, I feel like, professionals who are helping others go through working for free, working for donations, and not having a set price, or then putting a price, but then being questioning, am I worthy of that price? And I always come back also to myself, because you mentioned your friend was like, who will pay this amount of money? I freaking paid this amount of money, the amount of the thousands and thousands of dollars I invested in myself. Oh my God. And not
Yeah.
even a penny I regret.
Same.
Everything I invested in myself was worth it. And if I would do it again, like if you would ask me, would I do it again? I would do it again, because I wouldn't be where I am right now without that.
Yeah.
I
And I
would
would
still
even do
be
it faster,
struggling.
like
Sorry?
sooner. I would even do it sooner than I did.
True. Yeah. And maybe even invest even more during especially the beginning
Yes, yes.
of the journey. Because in the beginning, I did have a mentor. But yeah, I got a mentor after almost a year. I was kind of like in the verge of like, oh, I was in that uh space that I mentioned, giving for free, donations, da da da. And then I'm like, hey, I feel like I already got some experience. I really want to have have a proper, more stable foundation. And this is where I got my first mentor and started not only depending on word of mouth, but rather, yeah, being more visible, being out there. How's it
Mm.
for you to uh, be more visible, promoting yourself. Because I also know a lot of people, when they find their purpose, they have no idea how to promote themselves. But I feel like right now we have this beautiful opportunity, social media, and one of the most, I guess, easiest and available ways is, yeah, to be visible, to be out there. Was it easy for you? Was it hard? How was
Mm.
that transition for you?
I must say, of course, like everyone else, I was afraid of a lot of judgment.
Mm,
But it wasn't as hard as sometimes I've coached people through. And I think it became because it became like that because of the journey that I had kind of ignoring that voice for so long. So it was almost like I was done. I was done to like tuning that voice down that told me like you can do all this. So when I came out and started to talk about buying yourself, I literally just wanted to talk about buy yourself. Like
mm,
it was almost like a force bigger than myself that was also bigger than my fear of why I did this.
yeah.
If I look back 2 years ago, my content content now, of course, it's not as polished, it's not as clear, but that's the beauty of it. Like, I think they say if you don't look back 1 year at what you did, your videos, your content, and you're not a little bit cringe, you've not grown enough, right? So, yes, it was a little bit scary, but for me, it was even more scary to not do it because I cannot shut up when it comes to buying yourself because I know the difference it's made in my life. So
Yeah.
my mission became much, much, much bigger than my fear. Still, I have fear. I mean, if you tell me now to stand in front of a stage in front of thousands of people, I will almost shit my pants. but but still,
It's
if you
the
then
biggest fear of, I think the second biggest fear after the fear of death, or maybe even the first fear, stage
public
fright.
speaking, yeah, yeah. But then, if you again, we always hear people say, what's your why? When you have a big enough why, when you have a big enough emotional attachment to why you want to put on that content, to why you want to charge people. So I've totally reframed the charging part too. For me, if I don't charge someone, I'm doing them a disfavor, a disservice.
Mm,
Like I always ask myself, what was the transformation for me when I started by myself? And could I help someone else do that? Would you have paid money for it? Of course, like I said, even sooner.
absolutely. And I feel like a lot of people who are getting free stuff, when a person is getting stuff for free, there is they devalue it. They don't
Mm,
value it as much. Even again, coming back to my own experience, sometimes I'm like, oh, such a cool workshop. I'll sign up for it.
yes.
It's for free. And then I'm like, blah, blah, something is more important, la, la, la. And I forget about it and I don't even come. But
Yeah.
if I would pay even like $10 or 20 or whatever, then I'd be like, oh, I paid for it. It's like the membership for the gym, you know?
A
There
hundred.
are bigger chances that you're going to go to the gym if you paid for the membership.
Yeah, 100. It is like that. And now I even start to see a little bit of a shift in the amount of money. So if you pay 10 euros, even if you pay 10 euros, it's still easier to not show up for 10 euros than if you paid 50 euros. And same thing with coaching. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
What are the challenges you faced along the way when you were searching for purpose and when you were already on that path?
Yes, I would say patience is my biggest lesson in life. And
Mm,
I always tell my clients like be patient with who you're becoming and
mm-hmm,
impatient with the process. Meaning
mm-hmm,
be impatient with showing up because we want to create some momentum, but we also cannot rush who we're becoming along the way. We need to allow ourselves to make the mistakes, to have the failures, to have the ups, to have the downs, to revisit, to go back, to move forward and back again. So I think for me the biggest challenge is that I thought it was going to go faster than it did. And still, I mean, right now I wish I was already a best-selling author and and all that. But it's also, you know, enjoying the process as I'm going. I think what I thought in the beginning was only that there's this outcome, and before I reach that outcome, I'm not gonna be successful. I'm not gonna, do this or that, like go on the vacation, enjoy my life, spend time with family. And along the way, I've realized that, well, wait a minute, it's not so much about the actual outcome. I know it's a little bit cliche, but it is about the
Mhm.
journey, right? What if I never, ever, ever reached whatever outcome I've set out? Would I still say that I've enjoyed every single day? And if the
Mm,
answer is no, we really need to go back and revisit how we're living today. And that
100%.
for me was my biggest lesson, my biggest challenge, and the biggest resistance because of all the hustle culture beliefs I had
Mm.
been brought up in. And now I'm unlearning, I've done that. I've unlearned all that and really enjoying my life as we go. I mean, I told you before this, I was in Copenhagen having a coffee with my cousin. Old
Yes.
Adele would say, I cannot go to Copenhagen and have a coffee with my cousin because I'm not there yet,
Yes.
wherever there is.
Yeah. I need to work, 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 work every second, every minute.
Yes.
Did you have a burnout? Did you realize this in the beginning of of your journey towards purpose? Straight away as you when you quit your job, or you did have burnouts, you did have situations where you were like, oh, I'm again getting into this hustle mode.
Yes, I had a coach
Okay.
where, as we were talking, there were some symptoms of burnout are more like me trying to control everything. And because I was
Yes.
trying to control everything, I was also not enjoying. So he actually taught me the art of surrendering, although I hated when he said that, and literally realizing that there is nowhere to get to. Yes, we can have big goals. Yes, we can have big, aspirations. Um, but those needs to be aligned with your day-to-day activity. If they are not, you are just chasing somewhere you will not reach. And once you reach it, you will be miserable again, whether it's your own company or corporate career. If you are
Mm,
not looking at your day to day life and ask yourself, if I always ask myself this question, if this was my last day or my last week or my last year on earth, would I do anything different?
yeah.
And of course, most people say spend more time with family, maybe even that. But all in all, the answer is still no. I'm actually living my life kind of exactly like I would do if it was my last day, week,
Hmm.
year. And that's a very good question to check in with yourself because
Hmm.
most people would say no. And they would start looking at things that they would change. And then I tell them, why don't you start implementing those things today? Because that
Yes.
tells me what's really important to you.
At least small, small, small steps.
Yeah.
I so agree with you in regards to enjoying the journey, the path, because even uh I can relate so much to everything what you're saying. Like when
We're very
I
similar.
swear, I got my certification. I'm like, I'm gonna have my 7 free clients, and then 6 months later, I'm like earning the exact amount I want to earn. I'm like fully booked and all of that stuff. 6 months
Uh-huh.
later, I'm like, crickets. Something something is up here. I have to figure out actually what do I need to do to be more visible, to get out there, to find people, let
Yeah.
more people find me, and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's so funny. It's so funny. And it really takes time, patience, patience, patience to be able to figure out, though, because there's so many ways to handle business. And it's all about finding the way that will suit you, where you are enjoying the process,
Yes.
where you are losing time and you can do it forever and ever and ever. Like when I lose time, when I do something and I lose time, it means hell yeah, this
Yes.
is something that is so aligned with me. But when I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, 3 more DMs and I'm done, then I'm
Yes.
like, okay, something is off here.
It was not supposed to be like this, right?
It has to be like this. Yeah, yeah.
I know
And to be
exactly.
honest, I'm still figuring out certain things in my strategy, still tweaking things till now, after almost more than 4 years, still tweaking things because also certain strategies I've enjoyed before when they were new, but afterwards they became not enjoyable anymore. So it's still constant tweaking of the strategy to be able to feel good during
Yeah.
the process.
For
Yeah.
sure. And the last part of it is the trust in timing as well, right? That's something that is fully out of our control. And that's something I've had to learn. Like there's this saying that it says you should tie up your camels and trust in Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And tying up your camels is the doing part. It's like we do,
Yeah.
we know the strategies, we prepare, la la la.
Yes.
The rest is also to trust in Allah, whoever, the universe, God.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a saying, but meaning me and you are fully out of control in terms of timing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so
Yeah.
many things happening around us right now that are creating synchronicities in our life that me and you could never control. I mean, even the fact how me and you met, that was not in our hands. That was done by
Mm-hmm.
some bigger, no matter how hard I would have tried, I would never have made that happen. What I did was I showed up on LinkedIn. What you did was you showed up on LinkedIn. And then for something that we cannot be, like understand, a bigger force, a bigger way of making things happen and orchestrating things, we met. And now we're sitting here. That's the trust part. The tying up our camels is me and you showing up on LinkedIn and writing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we do, we show up, we do the best as we can, we take action, but then the rest, yeah, is we don't know if it's gonna happen tomorrow, after tomorrow, or if it's ever going to happen, and if it's going to happen the way that we want to happen, because it was also my problem.
Mm.
It was like I'm manifesting, I want something and I want it exactly as I want it. It should be exactly as I want it. If I'm like picturing and manifesting, you know how you have to visualize and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It has to be with the same people, with the same like picture, place, time. And eventually what I realized after doing all of these techniques and practices for so many years, I'm like, it's not really about the way it is done, but the feeling that you feel during this experience. So the feeling I was getting every single time when I was manifesting, the feeling I get.
Mm.
But the picture, the people, the place, the time could be very, very different.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. As long as you're attached to your version of that, you're also
Yeah,
missing what's happening around you.
true. Yeah, yeah. When you're attached, you cannot enjoy it as much because instead of being like, oh my God, what an amazing experience, you're like, why is it like this and not like I said or
Yeah,
written down in my
yeah,
manifesting book?
exactly. And it can happen just better or different, and you're missing it because you're still waiting for that picture that you're seeing in your head to be.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
it's beautiful, huh?
What about surrender? I'm curious. You mentioned that this word was triggering when your coach or your mentor was mentioning it. Like, what is your relationship before and right now with surrender?
Yeah, and I can tell you, it still triggers my clients now because, of course, I teach this now, and
Yeah.
most of my clients are high achievers. So when I tell them to surrender, and most of them are men,
Control.
they roll their eyes and go, "What do you mean?" So it does not mean do
Yeah.
not do anything,
Yes.
but what it means is to let go of the idea of things being the way you want them to be, to let go of reacting to everything to life, to let go of holding on to everything in life, to again control what you can control and then let
Hmm.
go of what you can't. And also, for example, a small thing, but you're in traffic and someone cuts you off. Surrendering would be to not react to that impulse that
Yeah.
you want to swear or get upset or, whatever we've been modeled before us. My dad is the most angry trafficker in the world. Being a Lebanese, for me, that's how you react, right? So for a long time in
I've been to Lebanon. It is crazy, guys. On the roads, it's like a crossroad, and you're like, who is going where?
can you imagine the amount of energy that we're consuming on all these unnecessary things?
Yes.
So surrendering would be to not be pulled into that energy. Surrendering would be, okay, let it go. That does not mean do nothing, lay on the couch, do not work hard towards something. But it's the energy from where
Mhm.
we're doing it from. Are we doing it because of a reaction to something we don't want? Or are we actually being pulled to what we want? Are we getting triggered and following the triggers? Or are we allowing ourselves to
Mhm.
pause and act from clarity and logic? That for me is surrendering. It's not to do nothing. It's also to know that everything is unfolding as they should, and not
Mm-hmm.
be in resistance to life, and not, because most people are like this. If things do not happen the way I want them to happen, then I'm not okay. So now I'm going to
Yes.
try to control them in the
Mm,
pursuit of being okay. And now we're in
yes.
resistance to life and in resistance to reality, which actually takes away all our power. Surrendering is being okay with everything that is right now, and from this
Mm,
place, move towards what we want. But
yeah.
it triggered me
I,
because I was like, "What do you mean? I'm not gonna do anything? La, la. I'm not gonna react. I'm not gonna, no, 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 be this hot-livered Lebanese person." I'm like, no, but use
yeah.
it the right way. Use that energy the right way.
What helped you transition to that? Practice, working on beliefs, or maybe something else?
I think mostly what you
Awareness.
said before is the feeling. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, I optimize everything for peace. I let
Yeah.
nothing steal my peace.
Amazing. I love this.
But
Mm.
before, I was
I
always
optimize
stressed.
everything for peace. Wow. I love this. I optimize my life for peace. Wow.
Truly, truly. That is my life.
Mm.
Like my North Star is optimize for peace.
Oof. Like literally, I'm getting goosebumps. It resonates so much. Something that I was discussing with a friend, when I stepped onto the journey, when I quit my job and figured out what I want to do. The the main emotion that I was feeling was happiness. There was a lot of happiness in me. But the more I was in it, I started this happiness transformed into peace.
Mm,
And it's very interesting to be in that state. Happiness, of course, is also in my life, and sadness and anger, all of the
of course.
soup and salad, it's there. But like, if you would ask, what is the emotion that you're feeling the most these days, is peace.
I love
And
that.
it's beautiful to be in this place. It's beautiful to be in this place. And some people are like, okay, it's too neutral, like
Mm,
it's kind of like blah. But I'm like, I mean, there's still emotions, there's still ups and downs, but it's a beautiful place to be, this peaceful place.
it's the most beautiful, literally. So when you asked me what made me do that, that was that. My predominant feeling back then was not peace. It was stress. It was pressure. It was, you know, fear and scarcity. Like I need to do this because of who I need to become. Now I tap much more into curiosity. And could I be super successful while having peace? Of course. So now, if something takes away my peace, it's not happening.
Yes. I love it. I really,
Even a
really love
client.
this.
If I in the like a discovery call feel like this is gonna be a client from hell, it doesn't
Mm.
matter how much they want to pay me, it's not happening.
I mean, it makes sense. I feel like I I also remind myself, I'm like, I'm on this path for enjoyment. Like, I'm doing this to enjoy, to feel at peace, to feel happy. And yeah, if there's something that will remove me from the state, if it's a one-off thing, again, things happen, it's
Yes.
okay. But if it's a conscious choice, I would rather not do this choice and
Yeah.
step back and do something else or choose a different client, etc. So totally with you on that.
And you're spot on that. Like our natural states is peace, love, and joy. As a human
Yeah.
being, as a conscious being, that is our natural state. What happens is that we just have something that is in the way of that. So we just need to remove everything that's in the way of me and you, or whoever's in this listening, can tap into that state because that is our natural state. Like, how beautiful is that? Like, we are
Yeah.
love. We're just
Mm.
blocking that. Yeah. I mean, what
Yeah.
more do you need? Yeah.
So you've already given a little tip for those who are in search of their purpose, reminding them that we are love and
Yes.
removing everything what removes you from the space of peace, love. What are other tips that you would give to those people who are right now asking themselves, okay, what is my purpose? What to do? How can I find it?
First, I would say chill. Everything is exactly. Chill, chill. Everything is all like it's all good. Like you're not in a hurry.
Mm,
From that place, now we just start becoming curious of, what is possible now for me. I would say spend more time with yourself. Spend more time with yourself without any cell phones, without any meditations, without any external distractions, so that you can be clear enough to hear yourself and your own voice, and also be courageous enough to hear the truth and be honest to yourself. So that comes with solitude. I think that is the best tip I can give anyone, is to be with yourself. Listen to yourself. Um, Take away all the external noises and be
mm,
willing to listen to whatever comes up and feel whatever comes up. Of course, sometimes that is too much to handle. Hire a coach, hire a professional. But be courageous enough to go on that journey. Know that there will be things that shows up, because for many, unfamiliar is maybe something wrong, while that
mhm,
can be the most truest thing that will show up if you allow it to. Yeah.
mm. In your case, how do you spend your time alone? Is it travel? Is it, because you also mentioned not even meditation, right? So what is it? Is it a walk in the park, or what is it for you?
Yeah. So I have a rule. 1 hour after waking up, I don't touch my phone. Usually my
Mm,
husband sleeps because he works to US time. So I first just sit with myself. I look out because I know also it's very good to get daylight into your eyes. So I just sit with myself and look outside. So the first hour I do that, but I don't only do that. I also read a little bit the first hour. When I go out, I don't always have headphones. I allow myself to be in nature without anything, without any external distractions. So I intentionally schedule time for myself, with myself. Sometimes,
mm,
yeah, as you know, I travel a lot on my own. I don't always have headphones and distractions. Even on a long haul flight, I don't always watch TV. I literally allow myself
mm,
to get bored sometimes. I can sit like this on the plane and just look around, and then after a while, you start to hear your voice.
mm.
So I'm very intentional with also getting bored, if that's another way for people to realize when you're doing what I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I feel like when we do nothing, when there are no distractions, this is where we also get very creative. Not only will we hear our voice, but then suddenly these creative ideas come into our minds. I came out of Vipassana recently, and it's my third time I'm doing this. This is where you, for those who don't know, this is where you meditate 10 hours per day. And ask anyone who goes to Vipassana. Suddenly, in one of those days, so many business ideas. I have to do this and this, and creative ideas about not only business, but life and places and faces, and all of that just starts coming in because all the clutter is out. All the thoughts on the surface has been already thought because I mean, you not only meditate, you still get distracted by your thoughts. But then when that layer is gone, suddenly there's a new creative layer coming up.
Yeah, 100%. Can you share with us what was one of the things that came up in Vipassana?
Well, my first Vipassana, definitely an aha moment was my relationship to anger,
Mm,
because I always thought I'm a super chilled person, but eventually I realized that I was suppressing anger and that I'm not a chilled person at all. And that I need to channel this anger somewhere. And after I came out of Vipassana, I figured out that I need to find ways of ecologically releasing this anger also,
mm,
because I don't want to snap at people and, do it where I hurt myself emotionally and others. And yeah, I was looking for ways to release this anger, and my number one way is five rhythms. Every time I talk to people, I do my best to mention five rhythms as an incredible practice, a self-development practice, which includes your physiology, dancing, your energy, your thoughts, your it's beautiful. So it really helps release and move because emotion,
I
they
see. Yeah.
say it's energy in motion. So five rhythms, this dance helps to move that energy in motion.
Beautiful.
This was like kind of like the biggest aha moment from all the Vipassanas that I did.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, which also proves the tip to be with yourself, right? And the biggest breakthroughs comes from there.
Exactly. And not to be scared, not to be
Yes.
afraid of what you see, because that's a part of me which is not pretty. It's not pretty when you
Yeah.
think that you're so chilled, nice, such a sweet girl, but then eventually you see the side of you, which is like, oof, oh, oh my, this is also me. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to love that part.
Yeah, that's another that's another journey to accept and love that part.
Yeah.
Oof,
I used to say, love that part to death.
love that part to death.
Yeah. Because it's going to become an ego death once you love that part
Yeah,
to death, right? Because now she doesn't have to come up anymore when you just love her.
exactly. And she can come up and not be also scared
Yeah.
if needs be to do that. Okay, so the main tip is to sit with yourself. And what would you recommend people when they see that ugly truth for it, or something that they're scared of, or maybe even when they see like, okay, I feel like I have this urge to shift, but I'm scared. Like, what would you recommend to people not to just sit with yourself, but actually to ground whatever they find out, and to be able to take action?
I would say seek external help. When I say
Nice.
external, I don't mean like seek help, but like for some, like you cannot see your own blind spots. Most
Mm,
of the time, you can also not see the whole picture. You can maybe see a little part of it, and you can be very consumed in the emotions. And most of the time, we're also not used to being with that discomfort. So besides the obvious, which is like meditation and breathe through it, and maybe journaling, but to have another person mirror back to you, because sometimes we also think that there's a lot of things to be fixed and there's something wrong with us. So
mm,
sometimes the same thinking, the same person that created that will not be able to shift the perspective alone, maybe. Hence why getting some external mirroring could be of help.
yeah, yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. It's so much easier when there's someone helping. I mean, even those people, all the coaches that I talk to, and who are in the self-development work, all the therapists, they have therapy themselves, or they have
Yes.
coaches, they have people that they work with all
Mm.
the time. It's an ongoing process, because again, even with all the tools that we have, all the knowledge that we have, sometimes we don't see those blind spots, and they are there. They are
Yes,
there.
they're always
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so we are moving to the part with cards. Let's see what they will bring us, which questions they bring.
This is
It's
exciting.
actually three levels. So we're going to start with level one. It's
Cool.
called perception. Um, have you ever been fired from a job? If so, what for?
I haven't.
Have you ever
Easy.
fired anyone?
Yes, I have. I
Ooh, how was it for you? I know it's also tough for a lot of people, to, I mean, because you're kind of like the perception is that you're hurting another
yeah,
person.
of course. I used to run a restaurant. I had a restaurant before, and when you have a restaurant, you fire a lot of people because not everyone lives up to the standard that you have. And back then, I was also a lot in the identity of being a people pleaser. So for me,
Yes. Oof, I cannot imagine how hard it was for you
yeah. So we
to
have a
kind of,
business to run, and then I have an ego to uphold. You know? So what do I do with this combination of the numbers are not adding up, but I don't want her to not like me, and if I fire her, she will be mad at me, which is the worst part for a people pleaser, right? So that
Mm,
was really hard because I hadn't done this work as far as I have today. But also, one of the biggest lessons I had is also to how to have these conversations, and many times hindsight will be the biggest, place where you can find close the loops of what happens. Many times that was also the best thing that can happen for them.
yes, it's always like that. The worst thing that we think is happening right now actually becomes one of the best things. So many people transform their lives, create change, start taking action, start raising their quality of life after tough situations,
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
much. Even
So,
even myself. Yeah.
but that's only when you have done the experiences and look hindsight. So you cannot sit on your couch and think,
Yes. Yeah. In
you
the
need
moment, you're like, why is it happening? Why me?
exactly, exactly. And then 5 years later, you go, oh my God, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah,
Yes, so true.
yeah.
So true. Okay, level two, connection. What is your first love's name and the reason you fell in love with him?
So this is really, I need to now remember his name. Oh my
This
God.
is interesting because I think it's the third time in a row this question comes up.
Really? Oh my God, I don't remember his name, but I remember the reason. And he
Yeah.
had like the most beautiful blue eyes. He's Swedish. I'm in Sweden now. And he was this Backstreet Boys looking type of guy. Oh, what was his name? I don't remember. I still see his face in front of me, like his beautiful blue
Okay.
eyes, Backstreet Boys cut in the hair. I don't remember his name.
Was it at school or
Yeah,
university or
school.
where was it?
Oh, school. Yeah.
Cool.
My God.
So sweet.
I don't remember. It doesn't come to me his name. Nope. But the feeling
Okay.
comes up. How beautiful is that?
Right?
Yeah. No, still doesn't come up. Yeah, anyway.
It's all right. It's all right. As long as the feeling is there in the blue eyes to
Yeah,
inspire you.
exactly. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, level three, our last card called reflection. If we were in a band, talking about Backstreet Boys, if we were in a band, what would our name be?
Oh. Whew. Unpredictable.
Unpredictable. I like that.
Because that's what I want us to be. No one's gonna
Ah,
predict it. Yeah.
even us,
Yeah,
because we're
yeah,
totally in
yeah.
surrender.
Imagine how much space that leaves for us to just create and just do whatever we want because, hey, we're unpredictable. Because that's what I say, just be unpredictable. Yeah. But so many people
Unpredictable.
are out there trying to be predictable to make other people be comfortable, even yourself.
Hmm.
So, what if today, this can be also a challenge to the listeners? What if today you would do something fully unpredictable? If you usually do things or behave in a certain way, do the opposite.
Yeah. Get out of the autopilot. Try
Yeah.
how it feels not to
Yeah.
do the same thing on autopilot, and at least one thing. Even, one of the trainings I've done, one of the tasks we were asked to do is brush your teeth instead of, for example, if you're brushing with your left hand,
Yeah.
brush with your right hand.
Yeah.
Even this will create a shift in your neuropaths in your brain. So even
Right.
small little things like that
Yes.
can start creating a different energy,
Yes.
different ripple effect throughout the day.
It does. Because now you
Yeah.
become a person that doesn't do the same things all the time. And the
Yeah.
step two then will be do something unpredictable in front of other people. Small thing can
Mhm.
be choose oat milk instead of normal milk when you order coffee. You'll get a reaction like, "What? Since when did you drink oatmeal?"
Mm.
Oat milk. And
Yeah,
then you have to, because that's when you start to teach people that I'm not who you want me to be, I am who I want to be, and you just have to follow along. I'm gonna have oat milk this
exactly.
time, and maybe next time I have normal milk again. What do you need to know about that?
And it's about curiosity because you mentioned, use the word curiosity also many times today.
Hmm,
Curiosity of like, okay, if I try oat milk, what's going to happen? How it's going to feel? How it's going to taste? I've never tried it before. So maybe I'm going to love it more than the normal milk. Who knows?
exactly. Yes. So be unpredictable.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, we'll be wrapping up our conversation for today. Before we wrap up, you mentioned you have a book coming out soon. Any other maybe programs, things you'd like others to know about? And also, what is the best way to reach you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the book is not done. My deadline is this year, but I'm gonna be patient with myself. I
Hmm.
do have a little, it's called People Pleasing Detox Method, a mini book, which we can maybe attach, where it's a step by step, a little bit of a workbook of how you can identify where you are people pleasing, slash abandoning yourself, slash selling yourself, and how you can start to work away from that. Other than that, I'd love to connect on LinkedIn, Adele Kamel Whitley, or Instagram. I'll answer everything myself. I'm super happy to get in the conversations if anything that we said resonate or if you're curious about knowing more. Otherwise, my website, adelekamelwhittley.com. Yeah, super happy to come, get in contact with anyone who's interested. But if you want the book,
Amazing.
maybe we can share the link. It's a very valuable short book that can
The
help.
guide, yeah? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So for those who are watching us on LinkedIn, I'm going to leave all the links in the comments. I'm also uploading all of these conversations onto YouTube, and in the description, you will find all the links how to connect with Adele on LinkedIn, etc. All the guides, the website is going to be there. So in the comments for LinkedIn, description for YouTube. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's such a beautiful conversation. And as I mentioned before, I would continue forever chatting with you because I'm pretty sure there's so much more that we could talk about. And thank you so much for coming on to All Cards on Deck. It was fun, it was insightful, inspiring. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Ola, for all the work you do. Thank you.